Well, of course, I mean, when you smoke a cigar,
with ash holes,
it'd be cool. You put the cigar in, and then you
start the fucking video.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Artie the Cigar Guy here one more time. Welcome to Smoke Signals. I am here with Ryan from Respect the Smoke, Members Only. And today we're going to talk about cigars, we're going to talk about tobacco, and we're going to talk about so much more. So stay tuned here on City World Radio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us one more time on another beautiful Monday. Real quick, before we begin, I do want to give a quick shout-out to all my veterans today. Happy Veterans Day. So real quick, want to introduce my guest. So today I'm talking to Ryan from Respect the Smoke, Members Only here on Instagram. All right, so give you a little, before I let you introduce yourself, a quick story. So I pretty much got stood up last time. I had a guest that was supposed to come in, just completely didn't come in, and I posted on Instagram like, hey, listen, you know what, fuck it. You know, there's so many great cigar smokers here on Instagram. If anybody wants to come on my show, message me. And Ryan hit me up, and here we are. So, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on, my man.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank you for having me, absolutely.
Yeah, so before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of it, really quickly, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Respect the Smoke Members Only, just for our listeners?
Well, we actually officially became about in 2018. We've been around for longer than that. I mean, we just never officially formed until about 2018. It's a bunch of guys who a friend of mine, which is the founder, his name is Roy. We started in 2015 in Andres de Leon on Grand Street in Williamsburg, where we would just have a bunch of guys over, and he would be working there the weekends, and we would just go hang out and just smoke cigars. It was a cigar shop, and we would be there all the time. So it became more like let's do something official, and that's pretty much where it came from. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
No, that's great because I'm actually also from Brooklyn, so it's totally
nice.
There's not that many.
Where about, if you don't mind?
I'm in Sheepshead Bay, so I'm in like
I
the
went
suburbs.
to school, Sheepshead Bay.
Where?
Sheepshead Bay High School.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean it's kind of far off, you know what I mean? But it's on the complete other end of Williamsburg. But you know, I hang out in that. You mentioned that you hang out at the Davidoff over there, right?
Yes, next to Peter Luger.
Yeah,
That's our spot now. We're there Saturdays, Sundays.
I'll tell you something. I actually used to work the Hassan.
Okay, yes.
He taught me.
Nice.
He trained me when he worked at Casa de Monte Cristo with me. So I know that dude is great, man.
Oh, amazing.
I'm so glad that he manages that Davidoff. Probably
Right.
does a great job.
And Will and...
So, see, I'm not sure about Will, but like I said, I actually worked with Hassan before.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I heard that they were trying to kind of get into the whole, you know, you have a steak and then you go into Davidoff and have a cigar thing, but I heard it didn't really play out as the way they wanted. Is that true?
Well, from my understanding, they do events every so often. They'll do like cigars first and then go have dinner. I don't know. I guess that's in conjunction with each other that they do that. But yeah.
Oh, so they do. They actually work with Peter Luger's on events? Oh, that's
every
okay.
so often.
So
it's not a...
I'm completely wrong. Yeah, I was off on that. Yeah, I mean, because it's weird. That Davidoff is kind of like a really intrigue because it's one of the last cigar lounges to open up, period.
Is it?
You know what's really funny? The last two lounges to open up in the city,
right?
New lounges, were both in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So you have the Davidoff Lounge, right?
Right.
That got one of the last few licenses, but the actual last license ever handed out was a place in Sheepshead Bay called Conquistador.
Okay.
They opened up about a year and a half ago, and that's it. You cannot get any more licenses. So,
shout out to Conquistador. I live near there as well.
Wait, you live near Conquistador?
Yeah.
Wait, so you're in Sheepshead? I'm confused.
No, I'm in Midwood, actually.
Oh, so yeah, you're right there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. There you go, man.
Yeah, I'm right there.
I got you. All right, so yeah. That's what's really interesting. So Brooklyn got the last two new spots in all of New York City.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right. How crazy is that? Definitely. So really quickly, usually when I get a guest on, I like to do an interrogation, right? So we're gonna start off with question number one. What's your favorite, man? What's your favorite smoke that you've had? Let's say ever. Best smoke ever. You know, last smoke on this earth. You could choose any cigar on earth. What is it?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I just been hooked. Anything AJ, but the T by AJ Fernandez, mixed with Caldwell, and I'm forgetting one more person. Yes, there we go.
Here's what I'll tell you. The tea is freaking delicious, and
Yes.
I love the box press, but I was very underwhelmed with the Connecticut. Did you have it?
Yes,
What did you think?
wasn't great.
Yeah, the first one that they pumped out, I swear. So when I used to do retail, people would come in, and I would just be like, if they're like, I want something Nicaraguan, medium full, get the tea. Everybody try the tea. I was pushing that cigar like crazy because everybody who tried it would be super happy with it.
Right.
That's an awesome steak. Okay, but that's like $15, let's say, depending on the size, right?
Right.
Let's say price is not a factor. What would you have? Would it really be a $15 tea? It wouldn't be like some sort of like Padron or an Opus or
Opus X. I was gonna mention.
Yeah,
definitely an Opus X. Bolivar.
Ooh, Cuban, huh?
Yes.
I love Bolivars.
So I would stick around there.
I bought a really nice little bunch of Cubans. You chilling after this?
Yeah, I'll chill.
Oh, we're gonna smoke some nice.
Yeah, I'm off today. I'm
Nice. So let me tell you what I brought is short boys, but got a lot of them.
Okay.
So I got the H. Upman half Coronas, little fatties,
Okay.
and the Partagas shorts.
Okay.
Like 10 of them. So
Nice.
we're gonna smoke the fuck up. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. How are your feelings on size? Do you enjoy smaller cigars, or are you somebody who's like, I like to call them size queens?
Nah,
You know what
I don't mind small cigars, but like nubs and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is I'm more into like what they call the gordos. The
6x6s.
yeah, right.
Okay, so yeah. You are like I said, a size queen. So. No. How about Lanceros? Are you a fan of Lanceros? What do you think about those?
Lanceros, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I've had maybe once or twice. I'm not gonna say.
Have you been smoking these Viva La Vidas?
I haven't honestly, and I'm sorry, but I haven't, not yet.
But by the face you're making, I'm assuming you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so those two guys, they make the Artesano del Tabaco with your boy that you mentioned, AJ.
Yeah.
So this is definitely something you'd want to try. But they recently pumped out their two cigars, the Jester, which is like a more aged Robusto size,
right.
and then their special edition Lancero, and I had that shit the other day in Conquistador. Actually,
Okay.
that was the dopest Lancero
Actually,
I've had in a long
I seen
time.
your Instagram. I seen you were there. At an
Yeah.
event.
Well, they had an event exactly, man.
Okay.
It was great. They had food. The brothers were there. They had all the limited edition Jesters and this Lancero, and it was great, man. It was delicious.
Nice.
To be honest, and I told Billy this straight to his face. I said, Billy, the Lancero is my favorite one so far. Sorry, you know what I mean. All those other ones are good too, but that Lancero, man, blew my mind.
Nice.
As far as fat cigars go, you ever had these diggers?
No.
The LFD digger, it's like 10 inches, 60 ring gauge. It takes like 3.5 hours to smoke.
No, I haven't had.
Yeah, I recently lit up one of those that I've been aging, and that shit took me like 3.5. So I can also enjoy like the big cigars too, but it's usually like. I usually like to stick with like something smaller. I don't know why. Recently, I usually go with anything, but recently the smaller sizes have been more delicious for me personally. Just because
Right.
I feel like I could smoke like 3 small cigars really fast
Okay.
and get like 3 different experiences. I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
that makes total sense, man.
I feel like with my smoking experience, I don't know about you, but it's always changing, man. Like I remember when I used to be also a size queen, and I wouldn't touch anything smaller than like a 40 for 48 ring gauge or whatever. But now
Right.
it's like I dig that shit. The wrapper to filler consistency and all that shit. You know what I mean? So this question, this one is a little bit like tough for my guest to answer. All right.
Okay.
What sucks? What sucks? What have you smoked that sucks? Now let me break the ice because a lot of people don't like. Yeah. You see that look? Like, I don't want to say it on live. Listen, I hate
man.
Gurkhas and I hate Rocky Patels. I don't give a shit. You don't have to answer. You don't want to answer? You don't have to answer. I know it's tough, but what have you smoked recently that was underwhelming? There must be something.
I was in Long Island and I smoked a Padron.
Whoa.
I can't remember exactly which one, so don't quote me on this. And I felt like it was just too much of a fast smoke. for me. Like if it burned fast.
Was it? Do you remember what series it was?
I don't. And like I said, sorry to quote me on that.
Yeah.
But it definitely, for me, it made me a little upset that it smoked too fast.
But was it fat?
It had to be a 60.
Oh, really? So it's like probably a number 4 or maybe like, okay, I got you. And it burned too fast. Well, you know what it is with the Padrones? They don't have the cellophane. And they dry up so freaking fast sometimes if you don't have the right humidor, or if you don't if the humidor that you buy it from, like at the store,
right,
is usually if that has an issue, the Padrones are always the first to go.
Yeah,
and the Liga Privadas too. You know what I mean? Because they're dark.
Smoked the Liga Privada once.
Yeah, those are awesome. I mean, if you're a fan of AJ, that's also Nicaraguan, so it kind of makes sense that they do be into those. They're nice. They kind of put Drew Estate on the map. But again, and here's another one where people are probably gonna fucking hate me, but. So, do you see how dark those are? I personally, it's hard for me to believe that that's, like, not somehow painted. You know what No, come on, because, like, sometimes I'm smoking those Liga Privadas, and I get, like, black shit on my lips, and I'm like, what is this shit? Like,
They are super dark.
Yeah, it's almost, like, wild, and they seem to be, like, really evenly dark. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a strange one, man. I don't know. I feel like I can almost dip the tip of it in water and just start painting with it. Use it as like a paintbrush or some shit. It's covered in so much paint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So all right. So yeah, now that was probably the hardest one. People always give me a hard look when I ask them what they hate. I don't. I think it's a good question. I don't know.
No, it's absolutely a good question. The only thing with me is, like I said, maybe it was the date. Maybe, like you said, or maybe in the humidor that I bought it out of didn't keep it well, or whatever the case is. But yeah,
because Padron is one of my favorites. I absolutely love them.
Okay.
I fuck with them a lot.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Boulevard. Do you smoke a lot of Cubans, or what do you smoke mostly Nicaraguans? What's your go-to region?
A lot of things. Nicaraguans for sure. Connecticut. Blends, shades I get, like.
So you like lighter cigars too?
Yeah, okay. Like Drew Estate has the Undercrown.
Undercrown shade.
Yes, that's probably one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I definitely go into that, and it's funny that I fell in love with the tea because I'm not really a box press fan.
Mm-hmm.
But this one just came. I don't know. It just one time it was me and my friend. We were at a cigar lounge, and he was like, "Oh man, you got to try this," and I'm like, "All right, look, cool." So I lit it up, and yeah, ever since then, that's probably been my favorite one.
Yeah, they released
the Nat Sherman Timeless Supreme. That's probably my other.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Nat Sherman's a difficult one, right? Because I find a lot of people they kind of shit on Nat Sherman,
right,
just for the political reasons and stuff. Because you know what Nat Sherman did, right?
What?
All right. So Nat Sherman, pretty much their parent company, Altira.
Okay.
Right. Also owns a lot of stocks in cigarettes.
Okay.
So when they passed a law to tax cigarettes, Altira pushed for the government to also pass a law that taxes cigars at the same time. And pretty much, since Nat Sherman is their their daughter's whatever company.
Okay.
It was a whole shitstorm. And everybody was just shitting. Like, there was boycotts. Like, so I worked for Monte Cristo, which is a big, giant company. So that didn't really affect us at all. But a lot of mom and pop shops, brick and mortar spots, stopped carrying Nat Sherman just because the new taxes on cigars cut into their profits a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was kind of like the fallout that came from that.
Yeah.
You heard about that shit?
I actually didn't. That's my first time hearing that story.
Yeah. Look it up. Altira boycott, Nat Sherman boycott. This happened maybe like a year ago.
Okay.
Right? So people were just so fucking furious.
Yeah. No, Altira. You said Altira boycott?
Altira, yeah. Or like Nat Sherman boycott's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so much shit going on right now when it comes to the cigars. And okay, I'm going to break it down for you real quick. This is their fucking strategy, and I'm sorry. I know I've gotten people telling me to stop cursing so much, but this really gets me mad.
No, man, this is what we're here for.
Here's what they do.
Okay.
So you know how recently they started banning the flavors, and they started banning like the flavored e-juices and electronic cigarettes because it like.
That was the next thing I was going to ask. But go ahead.
It attracts children or whatever. So what they do is when they pass these laws in like as a small amendment, the main focus of the law is on these e-cigarettes, but then a little thing about cigars in the corner. And here's what they did. They changed the way that tobacco is taxed from just being a per cigar tax to a poundage tax. So that means that bigger cigars will get taxed more than smaller cigars, which is so stupid. Like, it should be based off how much you pay for the cigar, not how much the cigar weighs.
Right.
Whatever. It's some bullshit, right? Not only that, but overall, this new system will increase cigar taxes by about 50%. And not only that, New York is gonna go up as well, like even beyond the federal tax. It's really crazy shit. Dude.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I didn't hear the last part, but I did hear about the beginning.
Yeah. It's New York, because there's one guy that passed it, federally, and there's another New York senator that did it locally here in New York, and it's a whole shit show. And and that's the strategy. It's like ninjas.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They never do this outright, because, to be honest, all these like rich senators and rich congressmen, they all smoke cigars. Let's be honest. Like, I have a cigar literally called the Trump Presidente. You know what I mean? And check this out. This is a cigar made by Gurkha, which I hate. I hate Gurkha, but I have the cigar anyway. And they made 2016 of them, and they gave them out during Trump's inaugural dinner.
Wow.
Yeah. And I fucking hate Trump, but I'm gonna hold on to those, because if he gets impeached or if he gets reelected,
you'll smoke it then?
I'm not gonna smoke it. No, I'm gonna sell it to a Republican rich dude. Yeah. It's kind of hard to find here in New York, but they exist.
Okay.
It's somewhere.
Man.
But yeah. So long story short, it's this political system is really trying to, so we have cigarettes, right? And cigarettes are really, really bad for your health. Do you ever smoke cigarettes?
Years ago.
I'm actually like 3 weeks quit for 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
Already. Yeah. So I just started. I know I just started, but I feel good about this one.
Okay.
And I feel like cigarettes make me feel like shit all the time. I never feel nearly as bad as I do after I smoke cigars than when I smoke cigarettes. Like, I had trouble breathing. I had trouble waking up in the morning with heavy breath. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You don't remember all that bullshit? Like, I smoke Newports.
To be honest, I was younger when I was smoking cigarettes. I mean, I'm young still, but I was younger, and I guess it didn't affect me as much. But yeah.
Yeah. So people are constantly throwing like these laws on cigarettes. Like, you can see the price of cigarettes go up from, like, I remember when I came to New York, 95, they were like maybe $4 or $5 or something. Then 5, 6, 7, 8, boom, boom. Now we're at 14. Right. And for a while, cigars were immune to that. Mm-hmm. Right. But slowly, people are dragging cigars in. They're like, oh, well, that's tobacco. Mind you, this is tobacco that's not full of chemicals. That's all natural. Like a fruit or vegetable, organic. You know what I mean? It's like, and people are like putting it in the same fucking boat as like this nonsense chopped up tobacco bullshit, like cigarettes. You know what I mean? And they're starting to tax it the same, and that's making the prices of cigars go up. To be honest, it's slowly seems like it's going to be kind of like Canada. Like, are you familiar with Canada's system?
No. So
just to put it in perspective, a Cuban that costs like $15 will cost you like $45 in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're slowly you're starting to see the setup of this like system that's going to bring us to this point. And I don't know, man, it pisses me the fuck off.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, and in New York, it's like when the prices go up, people are just like, oh, well, that's New York for you. That's New York for you. It's a little more expensive. Well, that's New York for you. That's why you pay $12 for a kebab outside. You know what I mean? And they'll just keep buying them.
Yeah.
Also, the government is trying to. So this one's a little harder to implement, right? But check this shit out. This is like dystopian cigar future here. It's wild stuff. So they're planning. So like, let's say you order from, like, Cigars International or like Halts or whatever, right? So they're usually in places where the tobacco tax is fairly low. Right. So
we were just there last week.
There you go. So you get like a sick deal, right? You pay low taxes, you get a better price, this and that. Now, what they're planning to do is that you are now going to have to pay the tax of the state that you're shipping to. And not only that, not only are you gonna this is the trick. Not only are you gonna have to pay tax on the cigars that you're getting online now, but you're also going to have to. The tax isn't gonna be like automatic, right? They're gonna literally, it's gonna be like a 1099 or whatever. They're gonna like throw you a bill at the end of the year. Yeah, so a lot of people might get really screwed by this and not even realize. And this is something that it's a very delicate system because like you got to figure out how to tax these, like how to collect this tax money properly.
Right.
But they did like pass a law that pretty much allows this to happen. They're just trying to figure out how to do it right now. Wow. So yeah, it's gonna suck really bad right now. I personally don't give a shit. Right. Because I'm just buying a ton of Cubans.
Okay.
And they're all coming from overseas, and it's like gray market type shit. It's not really illegal.
Yeah.
It's not fully legal. It's like this weird.
It's a gray area.
Yeah, it's like I said, gray market. It's, but there's no taxes at all involved in this.
Okay.
Right, and the taxes that there are, like the import taxes, the place that I order from, I Havanas. Have you heard of them?
No.
Yo, that's the plug.
Yeah.
Right there. That'll change your life.
Well, we gotta get that.
Change your life. I Havanas. Sponsor the show, please. I Havanas they're a great website. When I stumbled upon them, I thought that I found something like super secretive and exclusive type shit.
Right.
Lo and behold, when I got onto Instagram, I found out everybody and their mother uses it. So it's really not a secret, but they are legit, man. Some people complain that the cigars are too fresh. Yeah, they are. Like, that's Cuba for you. It's one small island.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just got a box of Cubans in. They were literally pushed out of the factory May of this year. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
That's very recent.
Very fresh.
Yeah. So, if you could look past that, if you could let those cigars sit in your humidor for a month and then smoke them, it's legit, man.
Yeah.
Here's the one issue with Cubans and guys like you, and I'm sorry that sounded a little condescending, but I'll explain. Cubans aren't really known for like their size. They're big, like 60 ring gauge Gordos. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They don't really do Gordos, and if you're gonna buy a Gordo, it's gonna cost you like, I don't know, fucking tons of money.
Yeah.
Like they so I'll put it into perspective for you. For the 50th anniversary of Cohiba, they produced the first ever production line 60 ring gauge Cuban. They've never made a 60 ring gauge Cuban before that. If you go to the island and you have a guy at a restaurant or some shit roll you one up,
right?
Make it any size you want. Make it a fucking 70, whatever. But I'm talking about main production line. Okay. And these things went for like $250,000 for a humidor of 50. Some like ridiculous ass price. You know what I mean? Like $2,000 a cigar.
Yeah.
Or some bullshit. Something so insane.
That sounds nuts.
Yeah. And that was the first 60 ring gauge, and that was like 2-3 years ago. You know what I mean? So you don't get a lot of real fatties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just because, like, for instance, Castro, like, he only smoked like Lanceros. Well, that's not true. He did smoke Churchills too, but his preferred size was like a Lancero Panatella. Okay. Like when he founded the Cohiba factory, the first size he made was a Grand Panatella, which is about a couple of inches shorter than a Lancero. And then when he made the Laguita #1, which was the first main production Cohiba, before Cohiba was even Cohiba, they called it Laguita. Right. And the Laguita #1 was the Lancero size. Wow. You know what I mean? So that was his shit. He loved those thin ones. Man, I just feel like I've been talking about this. This whole like taxing the cigar shit always gets me worked up, man. Yeah. Have you been noticing like so you go to Davidoff a lot, right? Have you been noticing like increase in price recently or?
Yeah, even at Andres de Leon for his hand rolled cigars, we noticed that there was a big upbringing. Like for a cigar that was costing, let's say a Robusto, normal Robusto was costing, let's say $7-8. Now your first one is about $15, or maybe like 13 to $15. Just for the first one.
Tell me a little more about that spot. I'm not familiar with it. Where is it? I want our viewers listeners to know where they can pick some of that shit up.
No, it's on Grand Street, 658B Grand Street. It's owned by a friend of ours. His name is Butch, and he has 2 locations, one there and one in Myrtle. Myrtle Avenue in Brooklyn.
Are you talking about in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Grand Street in the city. Okay.
No. Sorry. Sorry.
Right.
No. Grand Street in Brooklyn. Okay. It's in Grand Street in Brooklyn, and yeah,
There's a hand roll spot in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. he's been there for quite a few.
I gotta go,
years,
because
man.
I also scroll up my own cigars sometimes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, you're absolutely right. Now that you mention it, I've noticed over the last, I don't know, let's say 6-7 years that I've been buying tobacco.
Right.
It's gone up by probably like 2.5 times.
Okay.
So you're right. It's not just cigars. It's even the whole tobacco is going up as well.
Yeah.
So that's really weird.
Yeah, it's been nuts.
Another law that they passed, and this is just locally to New York, is did you notice the 880 rule?
No.
So check this shit out. This blows people's mind. Go to like your local deli,
Okay.
right, and ask them for a Dutch
Okay.
or a White Owl. They won't give it to you.
They won't?
Because you're not allowed to sell a single cigar that's less than $8.80. They'll give it to you, but you got to pay $8.80.
Wow.
That's crazy. So in my cigar lounge, when they passed this law,
Okay.
I remember I literally had to go to every single cigar that was less than $8.80, and we had to chalk up the price, even if it was like a little cigarillo.
Okay.
$8.80.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah, I see that they sell packs of cigar.
Yeah.
I don't smoke weed.
Yeah.
I'll say that
All
first.
good.
But I have family who smokes weed, and they went to go try to buy packs of, like, the Dutches, singles.
Yeah.
And no, they
Nope. Yeah, because you got to
pack
sell
of three
pack.
or
Exactly.
yeah.
It's insane.
That's nuts.
It makes no sense. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
It's almost like cigarettes too, right? Like you're not allowed to sell loosies, right? but I feel like loosies would actually be like some people would cut down, because when I would buy a pack of cigarettes,
Right.
I would smoke 20 a day.
Oh wow.
If I were to buy loosies, I'd buy like 4 loosies, and I would make that stretch out a whole day. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my philosophy. I know that I have no self-control, and I find this happens to be the same thing with many cigarette smokers.
Yeah.
That's just what that shit does to you, right?
Yeah.
It makes it absolutely difficult, impossible to drop. And I think that's also why I bought a lot of like short cigars,
Right.
just because I dropped the cigarettes. So I find like that's a good little help, so I don't
Okay.
fall down that rabbit hole again. You said you used to smoke, but you quit a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
So I also quit a long time ago, but then when I lived overseas for a little bit,
Okay.
a pack of cigarettes is $1. So you're like, all right, well, 60% of people smoke and cigarettes are $1 a pack. All right, well, I'm not going to pay $15 for one cigar when I can have a pack of cigarettes for $1.
Sorry to say, that's the same thing as trying to lose weight. You're trying to go get a salad and it's $9, and you can go to McDonald's and get a burger for $1.50.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's true.
It's not the same reference, but I mean.
Speaking of diets, man, I've been looking into some stuff. What the fuck is? You ever heard of keto?
I have.
What the fuck is that? Just eating meat?
No, from my understanding, it's like taking out a bunch of like I think it's some sort of it.
Proteins and fats, right?
just proteins and fats, but you have to like take out from starch and a bunch of other stuff like.
No bread.
No bread, no
grains,
pasta.
Oh.
So it's a lot of stuff of that nature. Yeah.
If I were to jump on another diet, and I am thinking about it,
Okay.
I would probably go with the Terry Crews, the fucking intermittent fasting.
Okay.
You heard about that shit? It's like you only eat for like an 8-hour period,
Right.
and then the rest of the 16 hours you don't eat, and your body apparently like goes into super processed mode and like burns a lot of fat,
Wow.
processes the food better. Yeah. I've heard about it first from Terry Crews. You know who that is? The
Yes.
guy from like
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine or
Yeah,
whatever.
the actor.
Love him. He's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's the guy from White Chicks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's my only role that I mean, Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well, but I think that's the only role that I really know him from, because he was just so funny.
That was amazing.
a
He
character.
was yeah. Yo, so real quick.
Yeah.
Do you think they can make White Chicks right now?
No, only because the world has turned so sensitive, man. Like, everything is just so sensitive with the whole gender stuff. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about it from a race perspective, but gender too, right? Yeah, the whole gender thing with the whole, I don't know. I wouldn't want to get too much into it, but
maybe it wasn't the right thing to bring up. All I'm saying is, like, I don't know. It's like I feel like it was such a great movie, and everybody loved it. Like, like white folks love that shit, black folks love that shit. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved that shit because it was the Wayans brothers just being dickheads. What I mean? Like, and again, Terry Crews was hilarious.
But I did hear that they were coming out with a part 2. I did hear.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can't confirm where I heard it from, but I definitely remember seeing somewhere that they're working on that.
I don't know if you're a fan of this show, but I heard that they're thinking about bringing back The Office.
Funny.
Yeah, and that's another show
Super
that,
funny.
again, it wouldn't really work too well now.
Right.
You know, a lot of, oh man, Michael Scott in 2019 would be weird. It would, it just, you know what I mean? It would,
Yeah.
if it takes so little to get triggered nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
You would watch one of those episodes and lose your fucking mind. You know what I mean? Like that. Did you know that show is the most streamed show on Netflix ever?
Is it?
Yeah, like the highest streamed show in history right now.
Well, it would have to be between that and Larry David, no?
Yeah. Oh, Seinfeld.
Okay.
I think Seinfeld got number 2 because Seinfeld is like the most highly syndicated show in history. Like,
right.
Or maybe it's I don't actually. Maybe I might be wrong on that, but it sounds like because I feel like Seinfeld's been around forever.
Yeah. Well, Seinfeld. that was a staple in everybody's home growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
You know, so let's just take a quick. We went on a little bit of tangent there, and that's okay. I don't always like to only talk about cigars, but so you mentioned that you're a big fan of Nicaraguan tobacco.
Right.
Now, what would you say? So, if I were to ask you to like list, so we got Nicaraguan, Dominican, Cuban, Honduran, you know, like that. How would you list your favorites? Like, where's Dominican? Do you like Dominican cigars?
Yeah.
Like, what's your like? What's your favorite Dominican smoke? You did mention Opus, but let's say not something that's like $20-$30, something that's more reasonably priced.
If I'm not mistaken, Fuentes are they? I always forget. Are they Dominican and Nicaraguan?
Dominican.
So that's probably my. I would still say in that order, probably Nicaraguan, Dominican, then Cuban. I haven't really tapped into much into Honduran.
Have you had Alec Bradley?
I have had. They're from.
That's Honduran, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Alec Bradley pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely. Punch, I like Punch. Punch is very good.
Speaking of Honduran, La Flor Dominicana. Have you ever? I've personally never smoked one of these, but you know LFD.
Right.
They come out with these like artisan cigars that have like all these intricate designs on them. Opus X also has them. Have you ever seen? You know what I'm talking about? They think they're called like Mysterios. I
haven't seen that.
So LFD is coming out with a football cigar. Have you seen
I
that?
I actually just seen that on Instagram the other day. Yes.
This shit looks sick, right?
It looks sick. It does.
Dude, they really go in. I want to give one quick shout out. There's this one roller on Instagram called the Remixologist.
Okay.
Who is, in my opinion, probably the greatest roller I've ever seen in my entire life.
Nice.
Like, you need to see this woman's work. She's an absolute master. Like, she rolls cigars that look like works of art. Like, you don't even want to smoke them.
That's amazing.
The most intricate caps you've ever seen.
Okay.
Like just the cap alone is like a work of art.
Is she on Instagram?
Yeah, the Remixologist. It's absolutely wild. It's like, as somebody who likes to roll my own cigars, that's all. I like to roll my own cigars. This is like something definitely to strive to, because all those intricate details, like LFD does the same shit, but it's nothing compared to what this woman does.
Nice.
But that's like when they do the football and all that shit. You know, that's similar technique, cutting out like little strips of fucking tobacco. It's really strange. I tried doing it. I could not pull it off. Mine's look like complete ass.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever seen close to anything like intricate designed was at Andres de Leon, where Martin would make a candy stripe, where he's the roller at Andres de Leon in Brooklyn. He would make a candy stripe where he would use 2 sets of leaves.
Like a barber pole.
Yeah, right.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
That's the only thing that I've seen as far as intricate designed.
You know, speaking of weird shit, you know what I had recently that was surprisingly delicious? Have you ever had Candela?
No.
Candela is like when they don't ferment the leaf at all, and it's like a light green wrapper. You ever had it?
No.
So, it tastes almost like you're eating vegetables, but it's not that bad. It's not bad. No, it really isn't. Like, I would expect it to be a little bit like disgusting,
right?
Because it's like fresh tobacco leaf, pretty much, that's just dried and then rolled up.
Okay.
But it almost felt like I was smoking a salad, which I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch, but you can kind of like, I guess, find like the the proper like analogy. I don't know.
Right. That's a great analogy. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've had other candelas. So this particular one that I had was the 2019 Filthy Hooligan.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that cigar? It's made by Alec Bradley. They pump it out for St. Patty's Day.
I've seen it, but haven't tried it.
I got you. Yeah, it was freaking great. It was like a little bit sweet too.
Okay.
Do you like sweetness in your cigars, or you like mostly like leathery?
Mostly leathery.
Mostly, yeah. But I don't know. I agree with you, but sometimes you got a little bit of honey.
Okay.
That goes with the cigar, especially if you're having a little bit of a drink. Do you like to drink when you?
Absolutely.
What would you find? What would you say is your perfect drink to pair with a cigar?
Macallan 12.
Ooh, that's fancy as fuck. Yeah, no, I'm not that. I'm a Woodford guy. Actually,
Okay.
Macallan 12 is not that expensive, is it?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
That crazy. Yeah. How about Woodford? Are you a fan of Woodford? That's because that's what I drink like nonstop if I have.
Yeah.
It's delicious. It's they have a rye variety, which I don't like because I find it to be too sweet. I don't like my alcohol. See, that's the thing. When it comes to alcohol, I like it to be like dark, peaty. I like it neat. No ice. Like, get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because I feel like it hurts.
Right.
But it's a good pain. It's a little bit of like a masochist thing to say, I guess, or whatever. Is that the right word, masochist? That's when you like pain, right? Or you like giving pain? Whatever. I'm diving way too deep into this. I like the burn.
Right.
I like the peatiness, you know?
Okay.
There's one alcohol that I had called Octomore, which I swear threw me on a loop. It was like 55%.
Okay.
And you take a swig of it, and it's almost as if it's like somebody smacked you in the face with a piece of burning wood. It was the craziest. Yeah, I swear, I felt like I was about to die, but it was a great feeling, and it tastes. And I that bottle costs like $180
Nice
per bottle, but it's almost like it's literally almost as if they took burnt wood and turned it into a fucking liquid, mixed it with alcohol. You know what I mean? That's the kind of shit I really fuck with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta stop cursing, man. I can't stop. I don't know why. Because here's what I'll tell you. I have this one buddy. He's actually probably listening right now. His name is the Weatherman, and he used to do radio, and he told me like you sound okay, you know, but you curse too much, and it's always in the back of my head. You know what I mean? It's always like telling me like stop, don't curse so much. And this is online radio, so. Say whatever you want, you know. There's no filter here, you know. But I what he said, what he didn't say this, but what kind of like what the way he made it sound was, I got to keep it PG-13, right? So the thing about PG-13 is in every PG-13 movie you're allowed one fuck.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what's really interesting because like you have movies like Star Wars, right?
Okay.
Or like
Classic.
Yeah. Right. Star Wars or. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other PG-13 movies, like Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? And just you think about that. Like, where would you put that one fuck? You know what I mean? Like in Star Wars, you have one per movie. Where would you put it? You know what I mean? Like I would put it probably like one of them definitely when. I'm guessing you watched them.
I watch. I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I won't lie, but I did watch the last one.
Oh, so you didn't see like the original 4, 5, and 6? I got you. All right.
And if I did, it was bits and pieces. I won't sit there.
No. Trust me. It's good that you said that because we were about to like jump off the deep end. Like sometimes when I get into the zone with this nerd shit,
right,
I completely lose it. I can go for hours.
Okay.
I'm a big like fantasy guy, sci-fi, all the Marvel, DC shit. Like I could talk about that for hours.
So is my uncle. He drags me watching that Sci-Fi channel. Sometimes just.
No, listen, you know what it is? It's a bit lonely being a fucking nerd. I can't keep cursing. Being a nerd, so sometimes you want to like, hey, let me show you a little bit of my world, but we don't, you know, people just don't give a shit. But it's cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
the thing is that it's become so much more popular nowadays.
It has
like
been.
Marvel movies are like the shit.
Yep.
You know, even like you said, you haven't seen any of the Star Wars, but you've seen the last one. It's all becoming way more mainstream. You know what I mean? Like, and being nerdy is almost cool now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right? Like, the nerds are getting the you know, now women are kind of like seeing the nerd and they're like, all right, well, this guy's obviously like a wimpy douchebag, but he's probably going to be like, you know, having $150,000 a year job coming right out of college because he's such a nerd. You know, so
even hip hop is becoming the same.
Hell yeah. man.
You have a couple artists that are actually very nerdy, and they're just making music, saying stuff to be cool.
Not right now, but like Childish Gambino when he first started. Have you ever listened to his like early shit?
No.
It was hard, like nerdcore. Like it was
Right.
way different than what it is now. He's like more like he's calmed down a little
Yeah.
bit. It jumped in more into his artistic side, whatever. But before it was just like him rapping about video games and nerd shit and like So
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. And I'll even like you can even loop this back around to like the cigar scene. Like I find like let's say I can't speak for this because I wasn't around, but let's say like 10, 20 years ago, people would tell me that there was a completely different like attitude. Cigar smokers were only filled with like a certain type.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now it's really like spread out. Well, first of all, as far as women.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a lot of women smokers. Like there's a lot of like for instance, like a lot of cigar groups, right? They have a lot more women. I know some cigar groups that are led by women.
Right.
They don't make them exclusively for women, but it just happens to be almost like just a group for. You know what I mean? You can have men in it. It's hard to explain, but. And also, like, nowadays you can walk into a cigar lounge. Like, for instance, I used to work in Monte Cristo for about 2 years.
Okay.
And you can walk in there and, there could be a guy sitting there and you could just nerd out about Star Wars for about an hour.
Right.
And I just feel like cigar smoking back then it's come really a long way. It's increased by like 25% in the last 20 years, the people that smoke cigars. It's become extremely popular worldwide and here in the U.S., you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Definitely a lot of women, man. It has been changing for sure.
Yeah.
I could say the same for like being on Instagram. I see a lot of like different states.
Some of the most popular Instagrammers, as far as cigars go, are women actually.
Wow.
Yeah, like some of the like highest like likes and follower count and all that shit. It's like you got like Remarkable Liz. She's like the biggest one, I think. So you got like a couple, I don't know. You got
shout out to Remarkable Liz. I'll be in an event with her November 23rd.
Oh, so you know who I'm talking about? Doesn't
yeah,
she have like 100,000 followers?
She has a bunch.
She's crazy, and she's also here in New York.
Yeah, shout out to her.
It's really funny. If you look at that same post, somebody tagged her like, "Yo, go on this guy's show." I'm like, nope, she's definitely not gonna fucking do that. Dude, definitely not.
Yeah. No, listen, let's make it happen. I'll be at an event with her November 23rd in Connecticut.
That's sick. Tell us about that.
November 23rd is in Penthouse Cigar Lounge 2-year anniversary. She'll be there. A girl named Jen Blue Eyed. She's another cigar person as well. You also have, if I'm not mistaken, Whiskey Josie, who will be out there, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe a girl named Delismo, which is Liz. All pretty much all from New York. But they'll be in Connecticut.
This is all chicks.
Yeah,
that's
all
what
females.
I'm talking about. You see what I mean?
But the cigar lounge is owned. I'm not sure of the owner's name, so I don't want to tell you.
No problem.
But we'll be out there for an event. I'm celebrating my birthday out there, taking a couple of guys, renting a Sprinter, just heading out there.
Are they gonna wait? So this event, is this a private event or is this open to the public?
No, it's open to the public. Man.
Is this gonna be on your Instagram page?
Yes, absolutely. I'll put it up on the Instagram page. I put it in a story today, actually. But I'll put it up as a actual post.
And you do this kind of events. You do these kind of events often, like where you go to these places and you.
Yeah, as long as we have enough fellas to to go, we'll rent the Sprinter. We'll just go.
Okay. Yo, everybody, listen up. That's actually really cool. So if you are kind of looking to expand your horizons, I know a lot of people just like to sit at home, smoke by themselves, or have a buddy come over. That's fun and shit, but if you ever want to go out and explore what's going on in the cigar culture scene in the tri-state area, I do suggest you guys look up Respect the Smoke Members Only. Tell people the exact spelling of that, because I know there's like underscore, right?
Yeah, there's it's Respect the Smoke, so it's RespectDa Smoke SMOKE _ members MEMBERS .only ONLY. And that's where you can find us as far as on Instagram, working on a Facebook, working on a Twitter, but yeah.
And so people want to join Respect the Smoke, they could just contact you and
Well,
or is this
they
exclusively
can
for
contact the page, but I'll definitely pass them to the right person. And also in January, early January, maybe February, we're open in the lounge in Greenpoint.
Yeah.
So if you want to sign up and become a member there, for the lounge, we're definitely going to be doing that. So we got a couple things coming.
So I just want to be clear. So is this like an exclusive club, or is this like open to the public where you can become a member?
No, it's open to the public.
All right, good.
Yeah.
So everybody, check it out. It seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
I wasn't unemployed right now, I'd definitely hit that shit up. Round too broke. I'm lucky because so I have like maybe 2,000 sticks at home.
Right.
So
wow.
I am just slowly enjoying that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna, I'm just I'm in no rush to like start buying shit again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I have like this beautiful stash at home, so I'm just gonna chill on that. So you
I'm probably the total opposite, by the way. I buy as I go. No, I buy as I go.
The thing is that I am a huge aging guy.
Okay.
Like I fucking love aging.
Right.
I love aging cigars.
Yeah.
And so I have like 7 humidors.
Okay.
Right. So each one has a different thing. Like one humidor is just full Cuban boxes.
Okay.
Full Cubans. Like I didn't touch a single one. Those
Nice.
are going to sit for 5 years.
Okay.
Then I got the Opuses, Davidoffs, and Padron box.
Right.
That one I dip into very rarely, but that one's I've been aging for about a year and a half already.
Nice.
Then I have an ammo door, which is an ammo crate that I got converted, and that one holds all my loose Cubans.
Nice.
That I've aged for at least 2 years now. So you know what I mean? So I got like this goes here, this goes there, that goes there. You know, everything got its own little component.
Wow, so you say 2,000? That's amazing. Okay.
And then I have like one humidor that's for smoking. That's where I just keep all my this is what I'm going to smoke now.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, since I worked in Monte Cristo, access to so many damn cigars, you know what I mean? I even that humidor of the cigars that I smoke myself is aged for like 2 years already.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
even my regular throwaway shit is aged.
Right.
Just because I don't know. I have a fucking hoarding problem, I guess, with these cigars. I'm a big like proponent of aging. You know, it really depends. People will tell you different shit. Some people will say 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever.
Okay.
I think 1 year is like a sweet spot.
All right.
I don't know why. I have some Cubans that I'm aging for 5, but like 1 seems to be when they're perfect to smoke, because you can also overage. Like, my oldest cigars are from 1962.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pre-embargoes.
Nice.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I got 7 of them left.
That's
they're
amazing.
Partagas. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they smell like a good wine. Not moldy, right?
Okay.
Fermented.
Right.
Just because they got that age on them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna wrap up soon. If I were to start talking about this, I could tell you like a whole hour-long story about how I got my hands on them. But we'll save that for when we're chilling outside smoking cigars.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
So, tell me, the Respect to Smoke, you guys meet up, you guys get the Sprinter, head out to all different events. Can you tell me just a couple more places that you hit up while you were you know what I mean? Like, do you guys do because I know there's a lot of smoking events going around the river. Do you do those or?
No, well, we went to Cigar International last week. They had their a live band, so we went there for that. Mm-hmm. So we just started doing as far as renting a Sprinter, but we would jump in cars and go as well.
Of course, yeah, no, that's.
So then we did Famous, the Leaf. We went to the Leaf as well.
Wait, what is that? Famous, the Leaf. I'm sorry, I thought you meant Famous Smoke Shop.
Well, Famous Smoke Shop and then the Leaf, I think they're next to each other because one is in I can't remember what part of Pennsylvania, but one side I believe is just the factory side, and then one side they have a food place.
I see.
And it's amazing. You can smoke cigars, eat, have amazing food. By the way, of course they got the whole factory side. But I believe it's Famous Smoke Shop and then the Leaf right next to it.
Leaf is who owns that shit?
I honestly don't know.
Is that okay? So that's not owned by a company. That's a private.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So yeah, it's like a big warehouse. So you go there, just legit. It would be one city block if you really. So it's huge. So we like to go out there and just do places.
That kind of shit is really breathtaking.
Yeah, absolutely. It's different, especially Cigar International Hamburg. It's amazing. You sit out there.
Have you ever been to Paramus?
No.
Or is that JR? I think that's JR Cigars, but there's a spot in Paramus. I went to a Drew Estate event.
Right.
Oh, they have one of those, like, it's like you walk in, you could smoke in there.
Okay.
It's just a giant warehouse full of cigars, all out in the open. Is that kind of what you were talking about?
Yeah, well, that would be Famous Smoke Shop that has that. Yeah, Cigar International as well. They have their humidor on the bottom, and then the top is pretty much like open bar area. Well, not open bar, but bar area, seats, everything of that nature, and then you could just smoke in there. Yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Sick.
Looks like a warehouse to me, but it's very well decorated. It's great.
So what's the? Tell me, we got about 5 minutes left, but I want to like just get a little bit more information about Respect the Smoke. So what exactly was the goal, like when you guys started the organization? Is that the right word? The club?
Yeah, the club. I guess.
Club, yeah. Like what was the point? Was it just you guys were just trying to organize a bunch of like-minded cigar smokers, or is this you're trying to turn this into a brand?
Well, yeah, that's what it's gonna turn out to be. It'll definitely turn out to be something where we're trying to bring it to a brand. Right now, it's just like you said, a bunch of like-minded smokers. And I guess the great thing about it is that you get to network with different people of different, occupations and things. That's what I came to love about it. Because to be honest, I'm one of the younger guys in the group, or the youngest guy in the group. And all these guys, everybody has different occupations, different things to talk about and do. And then we get together, smoke some sticks,
cigars, and just reflect. It's almost like it's good shit because like when you have different people from different walks of life, then you have the cigars, and then it creates almost like a ritual meditation type. I don't know. I'm going too deep into it, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Like the whole taking the cigar, cutting the cigar, lighting the cigar, letting the smoke waft into the air. It's all like. It is almost like a ritual if you think about it.
It's like meditation to me.
Yeah, exactly. It is. That's exactly what it is,
That's
right?
what it is.
So
man.
I feel like when you're actually digging into the cigar, you're smoking the cigar, and it's creating this like that's when your brain starts creating the feel good chemicals.
Okay.
Right, and then you have all these people around you, right? And talking about their day, talking about different ideas, bouncing it off each other. It's really is like I've noticed a lot of really interesting things come out of those kind of environments.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so that's why I think it's really 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 important, to have these kind of clubs.
Yeah.
Right. So you can kind of like facilitate this kind of thought process. I know I sound like a fucking maniac right now.
No, it makes sense to me.
Just working in the retail space for so long. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of see these clicks start, and you kind of see how people walk in, kind of like certain look in their face,
right.
ready to kill. But then they buy the cigar, they light the cigar, and they sit down, and it's almost like a metamorphosis. It is quite an amazing effect, I gotta say. All right, listen. So we're gonna round up here, guys. I just want to remind you real quick where you guys can find me. My name is Artie, but you can find me on Instagram and YouTube. That's Ashhole NYC. ASHHOLENYC. Come check it out. I am going to start up doing reviews very soon, and the next review that I'm doing, which will probably be tomorrow, don't hold me to it, but it'll probably be tomorrow, is actually going to be the Cohiba Bahique. So get really excited about that. Nick, I know you're listening, and I know you're already getting excited. This one guy, Nick, won't stop messaging me. Do the review. So yeah, that'll probably be tomorrow. Also, guys, come and please check out the YouTube. I started it up not too long ago. It's a fresh page, but I will be putting a lot of content up on there too. So please come check that out. Ryan, why don't you tell the people where they can find you as well?
It's RespectDaSmoke _members.only. RespectDaSmoke _members MEMBERS.only ONLY, and add us. We'll be there.
Fantastic. And hey, Ryan, thank you so much for coming by, man.
Thanks for having me.
Would you come by again if I invited you?
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, man. And thank you so much for my listeners for tuning in. This is Artie one more time signing out.
Yeah.
I love cigars. Blah, blah, blah.